All right. So ever since the coronavirus pandemic started, scientists, pharmaceutical companies, and even the governments started to do researches to find suitable vaccine to reduce the spread and reduce the severe consequences of the virus. So, as a result of all these, year 2021 started with the whole world having a conversation about various vaccines completing their clinical trials and coming to a level that suitable for uh, general public. So among all these vaccines, the very first vaccine that obtained the WHO approval was Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. So even though Pfizer was a well-established pharmaceutical company in the world, uh, the first time I heard about Pfizer was thanks to this COVID vaccine. So that made me curious. That made me curious to look into the history of this company, when the Pfizer started, and what the story behind the company. So, in this video, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk through the uh, history of Pfizer from the mid 19th century up to today. So, Pfizer was started back in 1849 by uh, Charles Pfizer and Charles Erhard, who were German immigrants to United States. And uh, Pfizer first started at Brooklyn, New York as a chemical business. So their very first pharmaceutical product was a anti-parasitic drug that tastes like a toffee. And then moving forward, we come to the first landmark in Pfizer history, which was the American Civil War started back in 1862. The sudden enormous requirement for painkillers and antiseptic drugs for the Union armies that uh, provide a great scope for uh, Pfizer to expand their production. So the American Civil War was the first landmark in uh, Pfizer history. And even after the war, Pfizer continued to uh, move forward both as a chemical uh, production business and also as a pharmaceutical business. So one of their trademark industrial chemical was citric acid, which was a raw material required for soft drink industry, just like Coca-Cola. And this laid the foundation for their continued growth. Even though the very first landmark in their growth was American Civil War, even after the war, they continued to be both medicine and industrial chemical business. So this production of citric acid required for soft drinks industry, uh, that was a that was like the uh, foundation in their continuous growth since the uh, post Civil War period up to uh, 1900s. In year 1891, Pfizer lost their one of the founders, Charles Erhard, and following that, in year 1906, uh, Charles Pfizer uh, died. And by that time, the company had around 200 employees, and last uh, person in the Pfizer family that served as the president of the company was Emil Pfizer, who worked until 1940. And another landmark in Pfizer history uh, was the discover they made back in 1936. They discovered a fermentation-free method to produce vitamin C, and they expand the method into vitamin B2 and B12 production. So, as a result of the continuous researches conducted at Pfizer, then they developed a deep tank fermentation process. Later became the foundation principle of production of penicillin. And since the Second World War started back in uh, 1939, 1940s, Pfizer started to work with US government to produce the required penicillin for war efforts. So up until now, I talked about several landmarks in Pfizer history. And the next landmark that marked the transitions to modern Pfizer was uh, the production of antibiotics. And also in 1951, Pfizer started to go globally and started to uh, establish their factories in several other countries. With the beginning of 1950s, the internationalization of Pfizer was not the only thing that happened because uh, uh, parallel to that, Pfizer started to expand their research facilities with the beginning of early 50s. They started an agriculture division and animal health production division and a nutritional supplement division to conduct several more researches which helped them to grow even further in the coming years. So, uh, this research started to pay off throughout the 60s and 70s for the Pfizer, where they continue to bring out several new drugs and also they expand the research facilities even further. And this attention to innovation in Pfizer management and all the researchers began to pay off in 1980s. There are a series of blockbuster pharmaceutical products started to coming out of Pfizer. Some of these products were the COX inhibitor Felty, which was an anti-inflammatory, and also glucotrol, which was an aid for diabetics, and also Procardia, which was an anti-hypertensive drug. So Pfizer started to expand their researches since the start of 1950s, and the real payoff start to slowly come since the beginning of 60s and started to pay off as they wanted, as the company expected in 1980s. But among all these blockbuster uh, pharmaceutical producers, the biggest uh, uh, revolutionary product came out of Pfizer in 1990s, which was a little blue pill known as Viagra. Now we are at the beginning of 21st century, where Pfizer started to collaborate with several other pharmaceutical companies. Among these, in the year 2000, uh, the Warner Lambert And in year 2002, Pharmacia and Upjohn, and then in 2009, Wyeth, and also in 2016, Medivation. And also we all know the collaboration with BioNTech, which actually the collaboration that bring out the uh, Pfizer BioNTech coronavirus vaccine. So as you also the evolution of Pfizer since the mid 19th century up to uh, this day was a series of hard works, tough decisions, and uh, many more uh, hard efforts by both the management and researchers and also the employees. So among this journey, uh, just like almost any pharma company, Pfizer also faced anyhow, despite some setbacks. As I mentioned, Pfizer remains one of the biggest pharma companies in the world today, where there are over 100,000 employees working at several factories from all around the world. And with the company becoming one of the first in the world to get the COVID-19 vaccine approved by the WHO, uh, the future of Pfizer uh, looks very promising. We can probably expect many more revolutionary pharmaceutical products coming out of Pfizer research facilities. So I hope this video uh, helped you to get an idea how the company Pfizer developed up to a global pharmaceutical uh, producer right now, since the beginning of it going way back to the mid 19th century. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna talk about these curious subjects in uh, coming videos too. And also, uh, please leave a comment with anything you want to add to this video. I would love to know your thoughts. And so, thank you so much for joining with me. Looking forward to meet you with the new video soon. So, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much.